welcome to Maverrik Live. I'm your host, Luke Teal, and today I'm joined by Curtis Shear.
Thanks for having me again.
Dramatic pause. Caught you not expecting.
Build up. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. You doing good? You doing well?
Yeah. To be fair, it's been a very busy week again. I think we're getting to a stage where everyone's like, oh dear, Christmas is here.
Yeah.
Let's either get some training in or let's plan some training for January. So at least when we come back, we can hit it hard. So to be fair, we've just been doing that all week.
I feel like in terms of the dreaded virus, with that kind of on a back burner since we know we've got the rest of. I'm not going to say it's over because otherwise there's going to be a flood of comments just being like, no, you're wrong, or yes, it is, and then all that whole shebang. Anyway, people are starting to get back to the office, want to train more, want to sell more, and try and really grow a business and get things done. And like you said, now is either the time to plan ahead for the future, get some training in and really nail it, or push back into January, get it, nail it, and then for the rest of that year, just really own it.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
in terms of expectations-wise, because this is whole commented about expectations versus reality of selling. So, anyone watching this is probably thinking, okay, what do I expect from us, maybe from selling in general, versus the actual reality of things? Because in the sales world, there's a lot of BS, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah. So in terms of expectations, I think it's just like with anything. A lot of people will just think it's going to be a smooth journey. I mean, because it's online, it's like quicker, it's easy. You don't have to spend as much time with people physically.
Yep.
People just think, if I go online, it should just be quick and fast and simple.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not, because you still have to put in the groundwork. Because essentially, if you're expecting it to be that quick, which unfortunately, when you look at the perception of everything, you see on Instagram, you see on Facebook, all of these young gurus that have made 20 million by the time they were 20, because now they do drop shipping, they now do trading, they now do all of this online sales stuff. Naturally, we're almost trained to think, maybe it is quite simple, because you're seeing a lot of young people achieve it more.
Yeah.
So you're always seeing that constant message.
I see it on TikTok and Instagram all the time. Here's a quick way to get your side hustle on right now. Just go onto here, find a t-shirt site with print t-shirts, go and market yourself, and now everyone's buying a t-shirt. You're a millionaire. Boom, done. And then that's kind of like the whole. That's the air around it, isn't it? Of just like, I'm going to quickly automate an entire sales system, and then here you go, buy. But it might work to that in a consumer basis. People can get like a really good system going. Not saying it's impossible to do, but in terms of B2B sales, LinkedIn sales, and training and developing, and enabling a sales team in general, isn't that easy?
No. So the only one thing I would take from those people actually thinking about it now is that a lot of the people that are doing those quick, easy win schemes, if you look at their following, they have managed to amass a big following.
Yeah.
So in a certain extent, it might be easier for them because they've built that big following. So I feel like what the emphasis in terms of reality is, a lot of people will have to realize that it does take a lot of effort, because you have to put up that first initial grinding and effort work to go, actually, I need to build my following. And then once I've got my following, it becomes easier. So if I'll speak from my experience, if you look at my LinkedIn, I'm now up to 15,000 connections. If I go back from when I first joined the company, where my LinkedIn was pretty new, my knowledge was pretty new, my experience was pretty new, I would say now it's almost like a walk in the park compared to what I was doing. But because I've put in that effort at the early stages, it's now paid off. Yeah,
you got that run up between it, because the initial getting it started and getting it going, forming the right profile, learning how to message, learning the value of the product in itself, because that's a lot of the journey, is learning the value, knowing what we've got and how you present it. And then from there, like you said, now you know it, and now you've got the whole thing and the whole ball rolling. It is as simple as doing this, because you've got the rest of it behind you.
Yeah. But I feel like because people are transferring themselves to an online platform where they think everything's so quick, all I have to do is go buy my stuff, or this is what my service does. It's amazing. So, it's actually the small efforts of doing your profile, making sure your profile is optimized, because obviously, one, that's your shop window, so it's got to look perfect. Having your company page aligned, like ensuring little things like you have a company logo, the header looks smart, and then thirdly, it's things like growing your connections, but growing it with the right audience, and then fourthly, making the conversations and also focusing the content that sees your value proposition. So yes, if I'm saying out like that, it sounds like a lot of things, but once you get those things moving in like one clear strategy, LinkedIn is one of those platforms that just compounds, so it becomes easier. So the effort you spend on prospects last month, they'll start converting next month or the month after. So
Yeah.
actually you end up building yourself a consistent pipeline of people that will just naturally convert over time instead of just going for the, yes, are you interested in buying my stuff? No.
Go buy
then
it.
you got to start
Great.
again with someone new. Are
Yeah.
you interested in buying my stuff? Nope. Start again.
But why do you feel like it's really appealing, those ways of doing things? Like, why do people watch these, gurus and these experts and these videos to say, hey, you'll get loads of sales and loads of wins and loads of money if you do this? Why do you think so people think to themselves, okay, I'm just going to do this rather than actually build a pipeline?
I think it's just from culture and like from past experience. So if you look at a lot of salespeople's experience when they do things like cold calling, a lot of email campaigns, the thought and idea of going, yes, I've made 100 cold calls today, even though you haven't maybe made any sales or you've just made one, it feels good because do you mean at the end of the day, you feel a bit tired, you're going, actually, I've made 100 calls. But if you go on, let's say, a social platform and you go, okay, I've just engaged with 30 prospects and talked about the weather, wind turbines, TV, do you mean like anything? It doesn't feel like it's progressing you because it feels very social and it doesn't
them they've put in the work.
Yeah.
But the work itself isn't going to lead to the results they're looking for.
Yeah.
But they've still put in the work. So it is kind of appealing of, I've done these actions. I've messaged all these people. Therefore, I'm going to get something back because I've messaged all these people.
Yeah.
Like you said before, but it doesn't actually work like that.
Yeah, it's just people just get hooked on the actions. So it's similar to like where a lot of people do a lot of cold calling. Although they're doing like the 100 calls to make one sale, they'll be happy constantly doing that because they're making the 100 calls every single day. But what they should be doing is, if it's taking me 100 calls to make one sale, I need to innovate my strategy. Do you mean I need to practice my discipline? I need to perfect my script. I need to create more curiosity on the phone to actually go, how about I can make 100 calls and get 2 sales, and then 100 calls to make 5 sales, and 100 calls to make 10 sales. So it's similar with the social platform where you're almost going for quality because you're going, actually, I'm finding my right prospects, so doing all the searches that are correct. I'm understanding my value proposition to get that across in a digital platform.
Yeah.
And then how do I create that curiosity to get them to where I want to get them? And it's just being more, I think we live in the idea where, I think we live more in the culture where actually working smarter is now a better option. Like, I know it's a term that everyone's always used for years, but actually I feel like people are finally like thinking ahead and go, yes, instead of just doing those 100 calls a day or instead of just doing those 100 actions a day, I can cut those to half that. And
but make them more personalized, make them more strategic. It was quite funny. I was doing some research on cold calling, and I asked the question: is it viable in 2021? Is cold calling viable in 2021? And the answer was, it's still viable as long as you want the calls. And in my head, I was thinking, well, that's not cold calling anymore. You're doing a social selling thing where you're getting to know someone, you're learning more about them. I guess it's still cold calling in this fact that it's going up to someone you've never talked to before and saying, hey, I know you, and then listing off a bunch of personal information you found online. Yeah. But that kind of feels a little bit creepy to me, where it'd be better if you did put in a little, the smaller actions, maybe like you said, just a like and a comment and read their profile before you decide to, connect and talk to them.
Definitely, because it's just building familiarity with that profile. And I feel like when it comes to social selling as well, a lot of people's expectations are, it's that way or the highway kind of thing. But actually, like you say with cold calling, yes, if you Google cold calling and all of the averages and all of the industries, it's still a 1 to 3% success rate. Yeah. But actually, what you've just said there, if you combine it with social selling and start pre-warming and start pre-selling people, actually, the calls become a lot easier and the conversion becomes a lot higher. So actually, in reality, social selling can go with all different sales tactics. Even if you're doing email campaigns, you can warm people up. Yeah. If you're doing webinars, you can still use social selling to warm people up and follow up after, which makes that more efficient. So actually, the reality is, yes, you can use it for anything, but yes, the work needs to be put in as well, and you can't bring typical cold calling actions to social selling and go, actually, I'll try 100 messages. I've got no sales, so social selling doesn't work for my.
If you're going into social selling with the expectation it's going to get you some quick wins and some quick sales, it's not what it is. It's more of a sales pipeline invigorator in a sense, and also whilst building it in its own image.
I would say in reality, it's quicker in the sense of mass and like how many people you can reach. Obviously, when we teach as well, anyone who typically goes through our training, you can get 10 to 20,000 views of your own content organically. So you're reaching a mass mass basically. But in terms of the work ethic, is you have to nurture those relationships. So you're still actually, you need to factor into account that yes, you're not going to become a best friend or do you mean you're not going to become the ideal supplier or buyer to a prospect within a day? It's going to take several days or even a week or even a month if it's a larger high ticket client.
It's thinking beyond just your own message and your own self.
Yeah.
Like if someone came up to you selling you something, you immediately wouldn't buy all of your products from that person until you've seen what they've got to offer, what they're talking about. You know, you don't just say, oh, you know, you've sent me this one message, you are now my guru for everything to do with this topic or brand. It doesn't work like that at all.
Yeah.
That's kind of the reasoning behind expectation versus reality.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people need to remember when it comes to sales work, like I'm sure a lot of salespeople have had it where the person who's buying from them have gone, I've just gone for your company because I've liked you the most. You mean like I've built that trust and I like how you do things. So actually, I think people need to remember is when they're social selling, you're not that only person they're speaking to. So they could be speaking to 10 others of your competitors. So actually, there needs to be a lot of effort and a lot of emphasis on going, I need to build a relationship with this person to get them to like me firstly, so they will listen to me. And then I need to put more effort in so they trust me, which means they'll buy from you. And I feel like when it comes to social selling, people's expectations is they actually forget the social side of it, which is funny enough.
Well, thank you for coming down, Curtis.
Thanks for having me.
Very concise. Thank you for watching Maverrik Live again today. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube as well and follow us on LinkedIn for more social selling tips and discussions like this. I'd like to thank you once again, Curtis, for coming down.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time for our next Maverrik Live.